Hello, Ardrey Kell students. This is Mr. Webb, the Career Development Coordinator here at Ardrey Kell High School, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about the Cpcc dual enrollment enrollment and registration process. So let's get into it. It's going to be a long video, but you guys need to know all this information. I'm going to refer you back to this video if you come in and ask questions. So just make sure you guys know this information. It's a complicated process, but this is a good test to see if you guys are ready to move on to register for four-year colleges, which you guys will have to do on your own in the future. So hang with me. It's going to be informational. It's going to be beneficial to you guys. So here we go. So first things first, the website is akvc3.com/ccp. So this is the place I'm going to refer you guys to. This is the place the counselors are going to refer you to kind of go through the process. So Career and College Promise or dual enrollment is a program that allows you guys to take classes at Central Piedmont College for free while you're still a high school student. This program is open to rising juniors and seniors and even graduating seniors for the summer term after they graduate. So today we're going to be talking about the summer and fall enrollment. All this is going to open up on February 13th. So I'll acknowledge that again later in the video, but we're just going to start out with some of the basics. So the first thing that you guys need to know are the pathways. There are two different types of pathways. Cpcc requires you guys to be in a pathway and take classes in the pathway you select. So the first pathway is the college transfer pathway. This is going to be a traditional pathway that allows you to take classes that will transfer to a four-year college. Those classes in the pathway are going to be weighted as AP level. And like I said, they'll transfer to a majority of four-year institutions. I always tell students to check with private institutions and out-of-state institutions to see if the courses will transfer. But I pulled up one of the pathways. I pulled up the science transfer pathway, which is one of the most popular pathways. So in this, you can see what classes are available in the pathway. It tells you the rules for each section of the pathway. So there's an English component. You can take both courses in that. There's a communications, humanities, and fine arts section. You're allowed to take two in this section. And then social behavioral, you're allowed to take two in this section. Math, you're allowed to take two in this section. And then the science, you're able to take one pairing of the science. You do not have to complete a pathway. There is no requirements about completing a pathway. If you do complete a pathway, then you kind of unlock the next level and you can take any classes you want to after that. But also with that being said, you can also change pathways every semester. So if you see the arts pathway might have a class you want to take in there, then you can switch pathways at the semester and you can switch pathways. So the next type of pathway is the career technical education pathways. These are pathways for you guys to basically explore different options that you might be interested in. These are weighted as a standard level class for the most part. There are some that will be weighted as a 5 as well, and I'm going to show you guys how you can tell the difference. So I have the business administration pathway pulled up here. And if it says transfer in this column, then you know it'll be weighted as a 5 because that's weighted like a college level transfer course. So just keep that in mind. You see the marketing class does not have the transfer, so that would be weighted as a standard. There are different eligibility requirements for each pathway. So if you're interested in a college transfer pathway, you must have a 2.8 unweighted GPA. This is CPCC's hard line. If you have a 2.78, 2.79, then you would have to submit test scores to get in. And we'll talk about that in just a second. But if you do not have a 2.8 unweighted GPA, then you are pretty much free to take any of these pathways here. Again, you can click on the pathways to see what courses are in each pathway. There are a handful of CT pathways that are similar to the college transfer pathways, and they require the GPA or benchmark scores to take those. And then the final thing I want to talk about with the pathways is how many you can take, how many pathways can you be in. So you can be in two pathways. You can be in a college transfer pathway and one CT pathway, or you can be in two CT pathways, or you can just choose one. You don't have to do two pathways. The only thing you cannot do is you cannot take two college transfer pathways at the same time. That's the only thing that's not allowed. So just keep that in mind. Students ask me what do I recommend, and that's kind of hard for me to say because every student's path has different goals, different things they want to accomplish. Some students may want to knock out some general education classes before they get to their four-year college, so then I would recommend them to the college transfer pathways. Some students may not know what they want to do yet. They may be, searching for that career path. So they may want to explore some of the CT pathways. So then I would recommend them that way. But there are plenty of options for you guys to take classes at CPCC. So just keep all that information in mind. You can probably watch that part back if you have to get a clear understanding of how the pathways work. So let's move on to the next section, which are just some updates and changes. This is kind of, some of these updates have come from COVID, but just about every class is offered online or in person, and some classes are even offered as a hybrid class. I'm going to show you guys how you can tell the difference between hybrid and online classes and classes that meet at certain campuses in just a few minutes. There is a checkpoint quiz you guys have to complete. That is step number 6 in the process. I'll show you that when we get to that section. And then there are information sessions that CPCC provides if you're interested in those, and those are all virtual now. And I'll mention that again once we get to the process. So eligibility requirements, I've kind of hit on that. You must be a junior or senior or a rising junior or senior. You must have a 2.8 unweighted GPA or benchmark test scores in English, reading, and math. The benchmark placement test scores are right here. If you click that link, you can pull that up and see the different test scores needed to qualify. You do not have to worry about benchmark placement scores if you have the 2.8 unweighted GPA or higher. The next thing, you need to provide your own transportation to CPCC if you're taking an in-person class. The only thing that we cannot guarantee at AK is parking. So you will have to coordinate around your AK schedule and just be aware of that. Parking is not guaranteed with just about 1,000 kids in each class, and not that many parking spots. It's hard, and everybody has a reason that I'm sure they can justify why they need parking. So I just want that to be clear that we cannot guarantee parking at AK. All right. So if you haven't taken an ACT or SAT and you want to take the CPCC placement test, you can schedule the testing by clicking on this link here. That'll take you to the CPCC testing page, and you can schedule your placement testing there. All right, students who want to take higher level math at CPCC, Math 271 and 272 are equal to Calc AB and Calc BC here at AK. Just know the main way to get in or qualify for that is to have an unweighted GPA of at least a 3.5 and a C or better on your transcript in honors pre-calc. So just make sure you have completed honors pre-calc before you register for these classes. If you're currently in honors pre-calc, you cannot register for that class until it is on your transcript. But if you want to take higher level math than that, like there is a Calc 3 that is Math 273. There's a linear algebra that I think is Math 280. Just know you have to have either 271 and 272 completed or meet these other requirements. The American History cohort. This is the only core class or core classes that you are allowed to take at CPCC. You cannot take Englishes for core classes at CPCC just because their requirements are different than what our high school requirements are. But the American History cohort kind of lines up. So we let rising juniors take this to meet their American History requirement. So the catch to this is you have to take History 131 in the fall and History 132 in the spring. You need both of those credits to get the one high school credit. So just keep that in mind. If you're interested in that, there is a section on the AK application where you can check the box that you're interested in, and I will reach out to you guys separately. You guys do not have to worry about registering for those classes. I will take care of that for you, but that is the only class that I register kids for because I just email the list over to CPCC and they will input that for us. So just keep that in mind. All right, other information. So some students will go and take classes at CPCC, but they may have already taken the AP class. So make sure you guys check to see what's equivalent to the CPCC classes. So you can click on that link. It'll tell you what AP course and what that equals at CPCC. So if there's courses that you have, we can send all those test scores to CPCC, as some of them may count as a prerequisite. So just keep that in mind. We can send your AP scores to CPCC so you guys start getting credit for college level courses. And then this NC Colleges course equivalency, if you click on this link, this will take you to a website and it'll show most of the public institutions in North Carolina, and they will show how the CPCC courses line up to their courses. So let's say it's English 111 at CPCC, that will count as English 100 at, let's say, Upstate. That's just an example. I don't know if that's exactly what it's called, but that's just an example. So you can see how courses would transfer to other universities with this website here. Another popular question I get are, how do I send my CPC grades to my four-year college I'm interested in? This link right here will take you to the CPCC transcript page, and you can order your transcripts from CPCC to have them sent to whatever four-year institution you're looking to send those to. And then one final thing in this section that I want to talk about. Now we'll go back to that. We'll go back to that later. Okay, let's go to the application process. All right, the application process. So the first thing I want you guys to know is I'm going to use two different kind of processes. We're going to talk about two different processes. We're going to talk about the enrollment process, which gets you enrolled into the program. Doesn't mean you're automatically registered for classes. You guys will have to do that on your own after you get enrolled into the program. And then the registration process is the registering for classes piece. So again, all this will open February 13th. So we're working with two different sections. We're working with the summer section and we're working with the fall section. So AK students who complete steps 1 through 6 by March 30th will have priority registration, which will begin on April 17th for the summer term. Okay. And then the final deadline to enroll for summer is April 5th. So that's before spring break. So if you want to do summer, you have to be enrolled in the program before April 5th. This process chart right here is here so you guys can see the different dates. So if you complete the AK application between February 17th and March 30th, you'll be able to start registering for classes on April 17th, 2023. If you're a little late and you don't hit that March 30th deadline, then if you do it before April 5th, you'll just be processed to register a week later. So it just delays you a week. If you're after that, you're kind of out of luck for the summer. So just make sure you guys are enrolled by April 5th. So you guys can register for classes. Classes for the summer term begin May 17th. So you're like, well, that's when we're still taking classes at AK. Yes. So again, you have to work your Cpcc schedule around your AK schedule. So you probably want to focus on online classes. That's why it's important to get the stuff submitted and have the priority registration so you can get the classes and times that you want. I do want to put out a reminder to all students that if you have to complete steps 3 and 5 every semester to be enrolled in the program. So I have this highlighted down here, and we'll talk about that again in a second. Okay, so that's for summer. The only people that can register for summer are rising seniors or current seniors who are graduating. Rising juniors, you guys cannot start until the fall. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, so then there's the fall enrollment dates. AK students must complete steps 1 through 6 by April 21st for priority registration, which will begin on May 8th. And then the deadline for fall dual enrollment is May 30th. Guys, I have to have this deadline because there's other projects that I have to work on in June. So I need to have you guys submitted and done by May 30th. And plus, if you're not enrolled by that time, you're probably not going to find many classes to choose from anyway. So just keep that in mind. All right, so here are the submission dates. So again, it's going to open. I'm opening things up February 13th. I can start submitting people to Cpcc on February 17th. So students submitted between February 17th and April 20th will be able to register on May 8th. If you're a week late, then you just get bumped back a week on when you can register. Okay. Students submitted May 12th or later, you'll be able to register 7 to 10 business days after the May 30th date. So it all depends on when Cpcc processes you at that point. So really, to be safe, if you guys want good classes and you want to get the times or the sections you want, try to have things done by April 20th. That's my recommendation to you. Fall classes, make sure you guys note this. We'll start August 14th. So that's probably a solid 2 weeks before you guys come back to AK. So if you have family vacations planned, make sure you know that your classes are starting on August 14th. Okay. So Now that you guys understand the enrollment dates and the registration dates, we can move on to the process. So again, returning Career and College Promise students need to complete steps 3 and 5 every semester. So if you try to go and register for a class, let's say for spring 2024, and you're like, oh, I did all these steps one time back in February for the fall, that doesn't matter. If you register for classes, CPCC is going to kick you out because I did not submit you because you did not complete the AK application. The reason I ask for the AK application every semester is because a lot of people want to change their pathway. So I need that information to submit you because I need to let CPCC know what pathway you want to be in every semester. So make sure you guys keep that in mind, that you have to complete steps 3 and 5 every semester if you're a returning CPCC student. All right, so step 1, attend a Career and College Promise information session. This is recommended but not mandatory. They will give you the CPCC side of things, but again, our process and our dates are sometimes a little different than theirs because I have to manage over 300 of you who are enrolling into this program. So I might have earlier deadlines than they do. So just keep that in mind. But you can click this button and this will take you to sign up for a virtual session. Step 2 is the Career and College Promise application. So this is the CPCC application. All new students to the program need to complete the CPCC application. After you do this, they will send you your CPCC ID number. You need your CPCC ID number to kind of move on with the next steps. So make sure you guys get that. I would recommend using your personal email on the application. If you use your school email, you probably won't get it because the CMS system kicks out all emails pretty much. So use a personal email. Make sure you enter your email correctly so you get that CPCC ID number, and then you can move on to the next steps. Step 3, CPCC requires you guys to submit high school transcripts. You guys do this through cfnc.org. So this will take you to cfnc.org. You create your account, and then you just follow these steps, and CFNC will ask you where you want your high school transcript sent to, and you'll just click CPCC, and then they'll send it to them. And then CPCC will let me know if they've received your transcript. Okay, so you guys might get emails from me saying, hey, they still haven't received your transcript. So again, make sure you're paying attention to your emails. Step 4, you'll create your CPCC login and activate your email. And again, you'll need your ID number to do this. So this will take you to an activator portal. You'll enter your ID number, then create password, and then that'll be your login. And then that'll be able to get you to your email. They are, starting March 6, 2023, going to go to a dual mobile. It's kind of like a authentication, just so no one steals your information. So that information is here if you want to review that. So if you have any troubles with this, again, this is on CPCC's side, so I cannot help you with this. But the IT help desk, they are very helpful at CPCC. So you can click that link and you can get their phone number and their email. Okay, so if you have any troubles with that piece, reach out to the help desk. All right, the next step is the Ardrey Kell application, which I have pulled up. I'll show that to you, and the contract. So there is a contract that you guys have to sign. You need to make sure you understand the grading, understand if you do not complete certain steps at certain times, you could be kicked out of the class and receive a failing grade. So just make sure you review that contract. You can submit that to me you can scan it back to me via email, or you can bring it into student services. So the AK application looks something like this. Again, I put all the dates up there for you so you know. email, student information. I'm going to ask you if you've watched this video. So hopefully you did. I'm going to say you should not proceed until you do watch the video because there is so much information in this. Name, Cpcc ID, AK ID, birthday. Are you a returning dual enrollment student? This helps me out. Kind of speeds up the process if I'm processing you. So that's good information for me to know. And then your current grade level, not what you're going to be, but current time of this application. What grade are you in? GPA, your unweighted GPA. The best way to check that is probably in Naviance. If you're close to that 2.8 GPA, I'm going to double check for you. And then I'll reach out to you and let you know if you made it or not to do the college transfer pathways. Cpcc login and password. This is optional. This is up to you if you're worried you're going to lose it. This just gives you another place to have it stored. You could be like, hey, Mr. Webb, I forgot my login information. Then I can get that for you. But those questions are not required. And then just some personal information if I need to reach you guys somehow. Parent guardian information if I need to reach them for some reason. And then registration options. So again, the first thing I'm going to ask you is summer, fall, or both. Both would be for rising seniors only. So, and then fall, rising juniors, that's the only one you should select. And then summer is for rising seniors and graduating seniors only. So that's going to be the first thing you do is select what you want. And then I will get you guys processed for the correct term. And then this is where you're going to select your pathways. So all the pathways are here. You're going to select your first one. You can see the college transfer pathways are listed first, and then all the CT pathways. So you'll select one here, then you'll go down and you'll select the second one. If you do not want a second pathway, you just click I do not want a second pathway. And then the only other options for your second pathway would be another CT pathway. And then I ask if you're interested in higher math. And then if you are, to submit any math scores. But if you have over the 3.5 and you have taken pre-calc, then I do not need test scores. And then if you're interested in the American history cohort, again, this is only going to apply to rising juniors. So rising seniors, graduating seniors, you do not have to worry about this piece. And then finally, just type in your name to acknowledge that you've submitted everything the best you can. So there's the AK application, pretty simple, should take you about 10 minutes. And then the next step is the checkpoint quiz. There's a presentation on here, making sure you have an understanding of how Cpcc works and just making sure you understand a lot of their procedures. And then the quiz is right there. You can click on this box to take the quiz. I think you have to have 17 correct on the quiz to pass. All right. And then there's the steps for the placement test. That's only if you don't have the 2.8. So again, I put that there just in case you do not have the GPA. Step 8, this is just me encouraging you to check your Cpcc email frequently. And then this is the student information page, which I will go to. Well, yeah, we can click on it. So this is where a lot of your main things are. So email login, your My College login, Brightspace login, which is what the online classes are on. So just know that's where all your main logins are. So you can find that right there on the website. Online tutorial, I would recommend if you're taking an online class to take this tutorial. It's optional, but again, make sure you understand how Brightspace works, how the classes work. I recommend taking that. And then registration video, I'm going to touch briefly on registration. but just know I don't have access to your My College account. So here's a video explaining on how to register. I'm going to show you right now on how you can see the difference between an in-person class, a hybrid class, and an online class. So this is as far as I can get in My College. I can search for sections. That's about it. So this is set up for spring 2023 right now, but this will still work as an example. So this is an English class, English 111. This shows you how many seats were allotted, and this shows how many seats are available. So again, since this class has started, it makes sense that there's no seats available. But if there's like, this number will say 2, 3, 15, depending on how many seats are available. So this course started on January 9th, 2023, and will end March 3rd. So this is a short session. This is an 8-week. So they go Monday and Wednesday from 12:30 to 1:50, and this is at the central campus. And it tells you what building, and it looks like it is a hybrid class. So it looks like there are things you need to do online as well. So that's how you can tell the different times and campuses when searching for a class. So you scroll down. Online classes will look like there's a lot of English classes. Right here. Okay. So this shows the start date, and you see that it doesn't show any meeting times. So you know it's a fully online class. It might still give a location, but you don't have to worry about that, because if there's no meeting dates or times, then you know it's a fully online class. So that's how it'll look in your My College account, so you have an idea on what you're looking for when you're registering for classes. But again, watch this video, because they're going to show you the different, you have to bounce around from a couple different screens in your My College account. So this video here will show you how to do that. All right. The good thing is, for spring and fall semesters, the district pays for your tuition and your student fees. During the summer term, they'll still pay for your tuition, but they do not pay for your student fees. So just keep that in mind. And then certain classes might have additional fees. So if you're taking a science class and there's a lab fee for materials, you would be responsible for that. So just make sure you keep up on what fees you owe, and you should be able to see that in your My College account. Cpcc waits until pretty late to clear your accounts. So for a while, you might say you have a balance. But again, if it's related to a student fee, that will be waived. So do not worry about that if that's in your account for the fall semester. All right. Then I'm going to encourage everyone to pick up a student ID. You can click on that to see how you do that. But even if you take online classes, you might have to go to the bookstore to pick up materials or books. You'll need your ID for that. So I encourage everyone to do that. And then parking permit, if you're taking in-person classes, I would highly recommend going to pick that up. So I would try to do these in the same trip if you have to go up to the central campus to do that. Books and supplies. So there is a stipend for books. It's $50 for every class you take. So again, to do that, you just have to go into the bookstore. You have to take your Cpcc ID and let them know you're a dual enrollment student. So you would have to take a copy of your schedule to the bookstore, and they'll help you find books. But it is only a $50 stipend, and books can get expensive. So you got to figure out if you can find that book online used for cheap, or if the stipend will help you. So just keep that in mind. And then some classes might require technology, and I think CPCC does provide some technology discounts for students, so you can click that link to check that. And then again, we talked about transcripts earlier. If you need to send transcripts to colleges, that information's here again. All right, now we're in the final stretch. I want to go over some AK program policies. So there's a 10 total class limit at AK. So that's, you can take 10 total classes per school year at AK. Unless you're a senior who's trying to complete an associate's degree, then you need to come talk to me and we'll work out a plan for you. But 10 total classes per school year. So if you are a junior and you take 4 blocks a semester at AK, so that we're looking at this one right here, you cannot take more than 1 CPCC course per semester. Okay? If you rising juniors, you're now allowed to have early release or late arrival if you take a CPCC class. So you'll work with your counselors on that during your registration and let them know what class you would want to drop from your AK schedule if you get into a CPCC class. You will not be dropped from an AK class until I see that you're registered for a CPCC class. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So if you take 3 blocks at AK, you can take up to 2 classes at CPCC per semester, because you'd have a total of 6 classes at AK and then 4 at CPCC. Seniors, the 2 blocks, 1 block, and no blocks, those apply to only you. So if you only take 2 at AK, then you can take 3 per semester at CPCC. And then if you have 1, you can take 4 at CPCC. And this more applies to seniors in the spring semester, because you guys will still have some graduation requirements to take during the fall here at AK. But when you get to the spring semester and you have no blocks, but you do not want to graduate early, then you can take all your classes at CPCC. Just know you have to be enrolled in at least 2 CPCC classes to be a full-time student. So let me hit on that real quick. Some students talk about graduating early. It really is not worth it to graduate early if you plan on just taking classes at CPCC. If you graduate early, then that cuts you off a semester from getting classes for free a semester earlier. So again, if you graduate with your class in the summer, that means you can take CPCC classes the summer after you graduate during the summer. So just keep that in mind. I would not encourage graduating early if you plan on going to CPCC or you want to take most of your classes there. NCVPS classes also count in that total. So these are courses that are not offered at AK, that are offered on a virtual platform. That is another program I run, and you can find that on akvc3.com as well. But yeah, just know that the magic number is 10. So just make sure you plan all that out when talking to your counselor for registration. Again, you must select an academic pathway to pursue your classes. They got to be from the approved list of career and college promise courses. There's no guarantee. So again, that's why you got to hit those priority registration dates so you get the classes you want. And again, graduation requirements must be taken at AK. the American History cohort is the only exception to that. All right, attendance for CPCC. There's been some confusion in the past, so I just want everything to be crystal clear, so you guys do not fail any classes at CPCC. Attendance at every CPCC class is required. Students taking online classes, there is an enrollment verification activity that you have to complete in the first couple days. If you don't, you'll be removed from the class and receive an F. That's not my decision. That's CPCC's thing. So when I get the grade report at the end of the semester, it'll say a WN, which means you did not complete this. And if you don't complete it, then I have to put an F down on your transcript. That's CMS's policy. So just keep that in mind. And then make sure you're aware of CPCC's academic calendar and CMS's academic calendar. If CMS has a day off, it doesn't necessarily mean CPCC is off. So make sure you guys are aware of both calendars. CPCC courses generally begin 1 to 2 weeks before CMS classes begin. So keep that in mind. We talked about the holidays. And then seniors, again, you must take at least 2 classes at CPCC to meet requirements by the state. So just keep that in mind. Again, transportation is your responsibility, so keep that in mind. We don't have enough space at AK, so you can't stay on campus to, work on your online class. There's just not enough space. Every classroom's used every block, so we can't accommodate that. Grades and credit. These courses will go on your transcripts. So if it is a 3 credit hour class, you will get the grade for it and it'll figure into your GPA. Some courses are 1 or 2 hour credit hours. Those will go on your transcript and the grades will be seen, but those will not figure into your transcript. So just keep that in mind. Also with these classes up here, these are based off 3 credit hours. Okay, so if you do take one of those 1 hour classes or 2 hour classes, those do not count in your 10 total classes. Okay, so just keep that in mind. There's an ACA class that is kind of like a, how to navigate college class that a lot of our kids like to take. That doesn't figure into your GPA, but it will go on your transcript. So, but that doesn't count in your total of classes. So just keep that in mind. All right. Students will fail an online course if they do not complete any work or log in to Brightspace for 7 straight days. We had a few students that this happened to, so they're stuck retaking the course to try to get that grade fixed. So just make sure you have to be checking in pretty much on a daily basis. And guys, do not wait until the end of the semester if an issue comes up. I'd rather try to get it resolved right away. If you wait until the end of the semester, I'm going to think you're just hoping that it was just going to go away. These grades do not go away. That, like, I get the report and I have to put in PowerSchool what's on that report. So just keep that in mind. We talked about credits. Talked about grades. And then this is the conversions chart. So you guys might see a percentage in Brightspace or in your My College account. CPCC only sends me a report that has letter grades on it. So CMS has told me just to convert everything to that mid-level range for whatever the grade is. And this shows, so there are drop dates and there are withdrawal dates. The drop date, if you do not want it on your transcript at all, you need to drop a class before the drop date. If you drop it between the drop date and the withdrawal date, then I have to put a WF on your transcript, which just means you did not finish the course. A WF does not figure into your GPA but it still doesn't look the best. Okay, so keep that in mind. A WN, again, that is if you did not complete that EVA, the enrollment verification activity, you'll get a WN, and we are instructed to give you guys a 55 for that. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you guys are on top of this. This is a big responsibility. This is a good test to see if you're ready to move on to that 4-year college, because this is going to be what is expected of you at the 4-year college. You have to register for classes on your own. You have to know processes and procedures. So I just want to make sure you guys are ready for that. And then finally, just expenses, which we talked about. Tuition is covered. Again, textbooks are going to be kind of pretty much up to you, except for that $50 stipend. And then any additional costs or the summer student fees. So I think I've covered it all. I think I added in some things that the counselors wanted to hear more about. I'm just looking over my notes one last time to make sure we have it all. I think we're looking good, guys. So again, you may have to watch this video once or twice or skip the different sections of it, but everything is on this webpage. I will post this video up here as soon as I get it uploaded. So thank you guys for your time, and good luck with the process. And if you need any help, just feel free to reach out. Have a great day.